What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by Jackie Anderson. Jackie is the future product manager for HP. That's not the full title. Jackie, how are you doing today? What's happening in Boise?
We have a beautiful sunny day here in Boise. Things are fantastic.
Very nice to hear. Now tell me your actual full your full title and what you cover for HP.
Okay, so I'm the Senior Director for Future Product Marketing, covering the office portfolio for print.
Okay, exciting area, future product. I would imagine there's a lot of things on the table that we can't talk about today. I did want to bring you in and talk about those beautiful printers behind you. Before that, let's just check in. How are I just want to see how are things with HP? How are things in Idaho? It does look like you're back to the office now, which is nice to see. That's not where you were last time. We chatted with some people from HP. So just fill us in with HP. What's going on with you guys?
Oh, HP is doing much better than I think anybody would have anticipated. Again, Boise is a great place to be, beautiful sunny day. The workforce is not fully returned to the site yet. We're experimenting with little bits here and there. So that's why I'm here alone pretty much in the Welcome Center. And as soon as I take 10 steps that way, I'll have my mask back on. So we're still following all of the guidelines and very limited people on the campus.
Okay, well, it's baby steps, right? We're just sort of getting back to things in Western New York here. It's actually 50 degrees here. It's been snowing like crazy, but we're having some glimpses of some hope for the future. Maybe we're heading towards spring. We didn't want to bring you on just to waste your time talking about Rochester weather, though. I really would like to find out what's happening with this product launch. You guys had a pretty significant launch. You updated your LaserJet line, if I remember. It was towards the end of last year, maybe November-ish. These are the products behind you that you guys launched, and tell me about them. Tell me the significance of this product launch and the machines behind you.
Oh, absolutely, Andy, and thank you for the opportunity. So HP has had this really strong competitive enterprise portfolio for quite a while, but we haven't really had the opportunity to take it down to a smaller footprint and we've considered it a gap in our portfolio. And finally, we have all of the power and robustness of our enterprise capabilities now into a smaller footprint. And that's the LaserJet Enterprise 400 series. So if people are familiar with our 400 Pro products, it's the same footprint, but now we've wrapped around it all of the value proposition you get from our enterprise and managed brand to bring the lowest priced enterprise capable product in our portfolio. It's also the world's smallest enterprise MFP. So we have a video that can give you a quick overview, if you don't mind if we view that first, and then we can jump in and dig in more to these products behind me.
Yes, a video and a video. Let's do it.
Okay, thank you.
Very nice. Let's get that disclaimer in there. Yes. That's awesome. Those actually make me want a printer, and I am a bit of a print nerd, but well, you shrank a little bit. You're there we go.
Okay, now we're back. Yeah.
Perfect. So my first thought was you just condense things, and it sucks. I shouldn't say that. We get to see these live every year when we come to the the big show, and We didn't get to do that this year. You obviously had to do it online, so we didn't get to see them and put our hands on them. And every year they do, they get smaller and smaller. The thing I noticed is that UI on the MFPs, especially the one that you're standing in front of, is enormous. And then you talked a lot about authentication and security, and so let's talk about these big capabilities from enterprise that you have now condensed down and brought to the SMB. So the two I mentioned, the security, the UI, obviously those are two big ones, but the benefits to SMB, what do they get by this development, this product line that they weren't able to do, they weren't able to get from HP or others in the past in a portfolio like this?
Yeah, right. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that this product right here is the 500 MFP enterprise class product.
Okay.
So everything that you can do in this product, we've now shrunk down and you can do in half the size.
Oh, I see. So it's there for perspective. So I get it. I get it. So it is
the demos. Yeah.
It is a lot smaller.
And then this is the equivalent 400 color MFP right here.
Yeah.
So
it looks like everything that I can see on that screen to your left on the 500 is still there on the right. So it's
right. It's the same,
you just shrank it down a little
interface.
bit.
And you can, as you know from when you're working with our enterprise class products, one of the value propositions that we're now bringing down to this footprint is Future Smart.
Yeah.
So it has the Future Smart software on here, which means you can customize this screen. The screens will be the same across your fleet. So fleet consistency. So your users, when they go from one floor to another or from one building to another, they don't have to relearn how to use the printer. The HP fleet will be consistent across on the user experience.
And this is something in the past that, I think when you got down to the A4 level, most companies were not doing anymore, right?
No, we're still the only company that does it across all A3, all A4, all the positions have the same.
So your A3 screens from those, they're not even new anymore, but the newer A3 products, those A3 engines that you make in Korea. So those are, they're all going to have similar, or they have the same style UI on them.
Right. And cool. They can all be, as long as you're buying the HP enterprise class products or managed, then Future Smart allows you to have the same user interface experience across, and you can customize the screens. You can put your logo on them. A company can change the background on them. They can, you can have, if there's a quick set that somebody does on a regular basis, they can load those and put those buttons right on the first page instead of the second page. So it can all be customized, but it's the same walk-up experience across the portfolio.
And they're in a smaller footprint. So I would have thought, the smaller footprint for SMB is nice. It's not maybe a huge necessity. I think office space is at a premium, whether you're in an enterprise or in a SMB. Where I see this becoming a really interesting product line is with the fact that so many people have gone remote over the last year. And I know, looking at your numbers and the shift that you had towards A4 and some of the areas that you had that maybe grew or maybe just didn't, everybody had a tough year. So maybe you had areas that were not as bad as other areas within your organization. The areas of the pockets of hope were all those A4, the smaller A4 products that shifted from the office, and now people were home. They needed a printer at their house. They needed a scanner. They needed a laptop. You sell all of this, right? And so how did these products do? I mean, I know it's pretty early on. You've just started selling them, but how are you initially built them for the SMB, but are they being brought home? Are people, especially that one all the way on your left, the little guy, are these finding their ways into people's houses in the Soho, or is this really still strictly SMB? What are you finding?
Well, we're looking at this new opportunity, this new evolution of a hybrid workforce, and this being an ideal product for that. Whether it's they want to enable somebody to work from home and have all of the same security and policies in the home that they can track and measure and keep all their workflows and stuff going. This is a great product with the smaller footprint to put in a home, but it's also a great product, especially for that distributed enterprise. Because like you said, as people are coming back to the office, they're coming back differently. And maybe there's a tendency in some businesses to say, we don't want 20 people using one copier. We're going to distribute it more. We're going to have a printer on more people's desks. And this is ideal for that environment because you manage it the same way as you manage the higher end of your fleet. And it's specifically designed for those more moderate printing environments.
Well,
So
Jackie,
the
so one of the things you just said that made me think, back in the day
uh-huh.
when I sold, especially copiers, and the centralized approach was a cost savings approach. You
Uh-huh.
would buy the bigger the copier, the lower your cost on your per print was. So if you were, at volume, you would save more. The more you printed, the more you would save, right? So everyone had an incentive to centralize these printers. And so everyone, customers especially have in their head a lot of times that these smaller printers are more expensive to run. And now what you've done with part of this launch is you've taken the cost down to mimic these larger, more economical products. So cost savings at both ends, right? But you're
Right.
allowing people now to bring these products home. I do want to kind of shift gears while we still have you on and talk about I can see the benefits to the end user. I can see that it's smaller. I can see that you can now do everything that you were able to do at the enterprise level, and you can integrate print management, you can integrate scanning and security, and all those great things are able to be done with that. Tell me, what does this do to the channel, to the reseller, to the guys that are out there in the field that are selling this against printers that people are buying online that are just showing up, and what does this product line do to the HP reseller?
Gives them the right option at the right time. Absolutely. Whether they're doing it on a contract, now we finally have a product in a smaller footprint in the more moderate printing environment. Like I said, the higher volume you print, you're going to get lower cost per page here. If it's a really high volume, you're going to get best cost per page on a big copier A3 product. But for those moderate printing environments, this is going to be your best cost per page. And so now for the channel partners, they have a product that's priced right for that type of environment. Again, moderate printing environment, 1,000 to 1,500 pages a month. This is going to be your best option to sell. It's a lower entry price, so it gives them that option for people who are more price sensitive, but it also gives you the TCO advantage too for the people who are looking at the lifetime or the cost per page.
So good TCO. It really helps these guys, especially I think open some doors right now with what's going on, and you're able to go in and talk to customers, in my opinion, who are maybe not sure they want to continue with the current contracts in place that they've had for print over the past 3, 5, 7 years, 10 years. Right now, a lot of people are pumping their brakes. They don't know if their people are coming back, right? So, but they can't stand still. So they may not be looking at going forward with 3-year leases on some of the larger equipment right now. There may be a little hold pattern, but work still needs to get done. And I have to imagine price points. This is an economical way to get something not just in people's homes and their home offices, but something that's secure, right? Because the biggest question I have going forward is all these people that are rushing, right, to get technology in their homes. You really wonder what impact is that going to have on security? And a lot of the companies that we work with, you especially, security is a big part of what they do, and trying to support a company in one infrastructure in one building is challenging enough, right? But when everybody goes in every single direction, and now you're trying to support 30 people or 300 people, and they're all dialing in from different places, and many are coming in from different access points, different internet backgrounds, and different PSPs. It's challenging, right? So anything that can be done, whether it's to buy a more secure printer that's set up for preventing hacks, preventing people coming in from the back door. It's not this is not a simple basic home printer. It looks a lot more robust, and taking those high-end features, so to speak, those enterprise level features, and putting them in a box this big is pretty impressive. It's just part of, I think, where you were going anyways, but it just, to me, it happens to be a really amazing time for you guys to have come out with that line.
Really
if anything, it could have come out even a couple months earlier, but certainly towards the end of last year. And with everybody knowing we've got at least another year of this type of work environment, right? I mean, you yourself, you guys are a remote company, but you're telling me that that you've got a limited group of people in there, and I would imagine everybody who's going home, they've got to be able to dial in. They've got to be able to get their work done from another place right now. And printing has not gone away. It's it may have.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah,
that's something that this pandemic has reinforced for us, is that printing is still important, because of all the people who, when they went home, bought home printers and are asking, how do we do the same things at work that we did? How do we do it at home like we did it at work? And
where's that button? Where's that button, right? Where's that security button?
Where's the easy button?
Where's my scan button? Everything was all set up for them. They take it for granted, but
exactly. And now with a product like this, the IT admin can set up those shortcuts for them on their control panel remotely. And as people are working to accelerate the digital transformation, now we have a lower end product that will enable those digital workflows as well. So as we see pages coming down because people are, I think the first thing that happened was everybody went to electronic signatures just like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of pages that we're saving from being printed right there, which is a great thing. And now we have a smaller product that can help enable just the simple electronic signatures, but then other workflows like scanning to cloud drives and Google Drives and stuff. You can do that from this type of a product now. But in a smaller footprint, it can be managed securely, all the data transmission secure. So it's
But
definitely
what I love is I look at this as being turnkey for an end user, right? So,
yeah.
I can go on Amazon, I can go on wherever I want to go, and I can buy CDW, whatever. I can just buy the cheapest printer I can get, and it gets here, and then I've got to set it up, and I've got to figure out what to do with it. And I think it's fine, right? It may not be secure. I'm sure it's not.
Right.
It's probably not set up properly, so it's definitely not tying into all my databases and scanning things and getting things to where they need to go. Or, I can buy that one that you have on the left or the right in the middle. And my reseller has already set it up. It shows up at my house, and all I literally have to do is plug it in. All I have to do is tell them what my password or my Wi-Fi is if I want to go that route. But I mean, we're at the point where those could show up at my doorstep. My reseller sets it up for me. I plug it in. It's got all my integrations. It's got all my software and workflow loaded in there. It looks exactly like what I'm used to using at my office, right? Which is huge because now I'm tied in, I'm secure, I'm safe, I'm using authentication to get in. I probably still need to use my badge or whatever password system encryption that we're using before in the office. And that stuff is not getting set up at home when people just buy it on their own. So for you to be able to just give your resellers these tools, these little boxes where, they pull it out, they set it up, and then they send it to the customer's home, just plug in and go. I mean, that's right now with what's going on, I think that is very, very valuable to a dealer, to a reseller. And having it integrate for the copier world, which eventually people will come back to.
Exactly. We'll come back. Yeah.
When they come back, I don't think people are going to stay home forever. I think at some point, management is going to want to see people. At some point, I think companies are going to start realizing they're losing their culture, which is really, as you know, as HPA, is huge for companies, right? I mean, especially when you're recruiting. My kid is going to work right now for he was out looking around and for his next stage in his career, just graduated, and that's a big part. What are they doing? Who are they? What are they doing for the earth and all that? And these are questions that matter, and you kind of lose that when you're just logging onto a Zoom call every morning. And so I do think down the road people will come back, and those other products, for those of the companies that are still around, I think HP will be one of them. But for those A3 products that are, they'll still be a use for them. I just think right now, right now the focus is really on these A4 devices, and congrats to you guys. I feel like you launched a really nice line at a very nice time, at a good time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you mentioned about what are we doing for the environment. This is a great example of lowering our total energy consumption. New toner that's lower melt, so lower energy. Fast. It's still fast to wake up and print, but it'll go to sleep really fast. We're setting like duplex printing as the default out of the box to help encourage people to think more of how can you minimize the amount of paper that's not good paper, I guess.
Is any of this product process? I know you have a big thing going on in Haiti where you're reclaiming bottles, right? Plastics out of the ocean. Does any of this process, probably the toner, I would imagine, but does any of the manufacturing of this have any use from that reclaimed plastic?
Yeah, into the cartridges. The cartridges have a growing percent of recycled content in the plastics. And we have a goal on the hardware, by the time we get to 25, to have 30% recycled content in the hardware as well.
Well, it is amazing some of the things you guys think up, and I love that whole Haiti story. Someday,
I know.
I would love to go down and see that firsthand, because that just the video and the process, the pictures, and everything I've seen in that is amazing. But you're a commendable company. You are definitely a leader in this industry. Jackie, thank you so much for taking the time to review this new product launch, and good luck with it. And any last shout outs to anybody?
I just want to say thanks to you, Andy. Thanks to our customers and our channel partners for sticking in there with us through this crazy time. And hopefully you'll enjoy selling this product as much as we enjoyed launching it.
Well, I think I'm going to have to talk to someone about getting one to try out. So they look great, and congratulations on a continued successful launch. And we will talk soon. Thanks very much, Jackie.
Thank you. Take care,
Bye.
Andy.